My goodness, guys, look at this. It's currently about 10:30 a.m. on the East Coast. Palantir stock is up over 13%. And at one point, it was up over 15, 16%. So in this video, we're going to break down the stock. We're going to go over the chart. And more importantly, we're going to break down the actual earnings release. We're going to break down some numbers and see how Palantir as a company has been doing. So if you guys find value, of course, take a sip of your coffee first and foremost. And after you do that, hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe. And if you want some free money, who doesn't like free money, up to 15 stocks from Moomoo and up to 12 stocks from Webull. They're yours to grab. Link down below. And full disclosure, guys, all those links down below help out the channel. And now let's dive into it. So Palantir, like I said, is now up over 14%. At one point, it was up well over 15, 16%. And after the bell yesterday, when the numbers came out, you guys saw the stock went up all the way to almost $9.50. And you guys can see if I pull back to the 4-hour chart again, $9 to $9.50, $9.25, that little 50-cent, 25-cent window, that's been resistance for months. So if you're a bull on Palantir, which full disclosure, guys, I don't have a dog in this fight, or whatever that saying is. You guys know what I'm talking about. I'm not in Palantir right now. I've never owned it as a long-term investment, so let me just get that out right in the beginning of the video. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll change my mind, but right now I do not own it. But the fact that they reported their first profitable quarter, that's a good sign. That's a good step in the right direction, because some people out there, guys, do not invest in companies that are not profitable, right? That just, for some investors out there, if a company is unprofitable, they're not going to buy it. So if a company becomes profitable, well, a lot more money could start piling into it, and a lot of big institutions could start piling in. I'm not saying that's going to happen for sure today or next week or next year. Who knows what's going to happen? But in general, that's kind of a rule of thumb, or you know, that's something that a lot of people out there, especially the big money, that's what they do. Wall Street, you know, once a company becomes profitable, they'll start buying it. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but just keep that in mind. And at this point, my alert's at 925. If that point's able to break on Palantir, man, this could really start to break out towards 1020, 1030. That's a big gap to fill. From there, 1075, maybe back towards $11, right? And I'm looking at this more as a trade, personally. I don't have anything against the company. I hope they do well long term. But for me, I feel like if this breaks 925, perfect trading opportunity. So let's just dive into these numbers, the investor relations tab, which you guys probably know. If you want to find out how a company's doing, if they're publicly traded, of course, just go to the, Google, the internet. You know what that is, right? Google the internet. Type in the company name followed by investor relations. And in this case, Palantir Investor Relations. And it's going to pop up everything you need to know about the company. How, all the reports, all the 10K, 10Q, annual reports, all that good stuff. It's going to be on the investor relations. So let's just take a look at the highlights. We're not going to do a full deep dive. I mean, that's going to take probably 30 minutes to an hour if we really want to look at every line of every financial statement. But looking at these highlights, guys, GAAP net income of $31 million. Look at that. Their first quarter. This is their first quarter of positive GAAP net income. That is awesome. And EPS came in at 1 cent. It may just be 1 cent, guys, but it's a profitable cent. That's good. That's a step in the right direction. Adjusted EPS came in at 4 cents, and total net revenue grew 18% year over year to $509 million. I believe the revenue growth rate has come down a lot. Of course, it could be short term. The company is not that big of a company, so it's not like it's an Apple where it's gonna just, it went from 50% revenue growth to 20, then it's going to be at 5 to 10 range now for a while, or under that maybe. It's not that big of a company. So we could see, sure, it grew 18% year over year, so we could see that go to 30% next year or 50%. That, it's the type of company that could do that. But right now, revenue growth has come down. If I remember correctly, at some point, recently they were growing 50% year over year, even more than that. But 18%, I guess that's respectable. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. Total revenue grew 18% year over year to $509 million. U.S. revenue grew 19% year over year to $302 million. Commercial revenue grew, which they're trying to grow on that side of the business, right? Commercial revenue grew 11% to $215 million, as U.S. commercial revenue grew 12% to $77 million. Government revenue grew 23% to $293 million, and U.S. government revenue grew 22% year over year to $225 million. And this is actually a good metric right here. The customer count grew 55% year over year and 9% quarter over quarter, as you guys can see right here. Not too bad. And U.S. commercial customer count increased 79%. That's very good. They are focusing on the commercial side, right? That grew 79% year over year from 80 customers in Q4 2021, 80 customers in Q4 2021 to 143 customers in Q4 2022. That is fantastic. Loss from operations were $18 million, representing a negative 4%, up 1,000 basis points year over year. Adjusted income from operations was $114 million, representing a margin of 22%. Cash from operations of $79 million, representing a 15% margin, and adjusted free cash flow of $76 million, representing a 15% margin. And let's come down a little bit more here. We can see the total revenue grew 24%. So that 18% number was that U.S. or total revenue? Total revenue grew 18% year over year to $509 million. This is full year. That was for the quarter. What I just read was for Q4 2022 highlights. These are the full year 2022 highlights right here, guys. They grew total revenue 24% year over year to $1.9 billion. So year over year, 24% revenue growth. For Q4 year over year was 18%. So full year 22 was 24%. Not bad, but still not what it was, whatever it was, 40-50% plus revenue growth. That slowed down. Looks like here U.S. revenue grew 32%. That's pretty good. Year over year to $1.16 billion. Commercial revenue grew 29%, which is solid, to $834 million. U.S. commercial revenue grew almost 70%. That's pretty solid, to $335 million. Government revenue grew 19% year over year to $1.07 billion. Yada, 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 yada. Cash from from operations of $224 million, representing a 12% margin. Adjusted free cash flow of $203 million, representing an 11% margin. How much cash does Palantir have here on the balance sheet? Let's see. Is the balance sheet even on here? Let's scroll down a little bit. I'm not even sure, guys. I haven't looked at the balance sheet here. Look at that revenue. Okay, look. Revenue, this is the income statement right here. Let's come down a little bit more. Okay, here we go. Assets, cash and cash equivalents as of December 31st, 2022. How much do they have here? Cash and cash equivalents of 2.5 or 2.6 billion. $2.6 billion in cash and cash equivalents. Let's see here. Restricted cash, $16 million. Marketable securities, accounts receivable, $258 million. Let's see. Total current assets. Okay, let's see the current ratio. Total current assets of roughly $3 billion. Total current liabilities, what the heck's that at? Oh yeah, that's good. $580 million. So that is really good. I like to see the current ratio. I like to see way more total current assets than total current liabilities, right? That's a really good number there. So total liabilities in general, $820 million. Total assets in general, $3.5 billion. So that's pretty good. Their balance sheet is pretty solid, guys, honestly. We're not going to do a big deep dive into it, but pretty solid. I mean, they have enough cash and cash equivalents to cover not only their total current asset, or rather total current liabilities, but all their liabilities, right? So not bad. That's pretty good. I like to see that, and I'm not surprised. I mean, the type of company that Palantir is. Let's see here. What is this? The cash flows. Are they cash flow positive? Cash and cash equivalents and restricted cash end of period $2.7 billion. Yeah, we're not going to dive all into these numbers, guys. All you got to know is Palantir, they posted their profitable quarter, their first profitable quarter on a GAAP basis. That is what is really moving the stock. And the growth is still there. Revenue growth is still there. Maybe not as great as it once was, But it's not like the company is a $1 trillion company now where it's going to be declining or the revenue growth is going to be slowing. It's not the case. We could easily see a spike up in revenue growth again in a company like Palantir as they're continuing to grow the commercial side of the business, and as they're hopefully going to continue gaining more customers, right? We saw the total customers for U.S. commercial increased 79% year over year. That's pretty good. Let's see if they can continue to get more customers, if they can continue to be profitable. Like I said, that's how big money is going to come into this thing. They're going to have to continue to be profitable, and maybe we could get that break above $9.25. Maybe we could get that trade up to about $10, maybe even higher on Palantir from there. So what do you guys think? Again, full disclosure, I don't have a dog in this fight. I'm not in Palantir right now, but I might consider it as a trade if it gets above that point. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Drop me a comment. Hit the like button. Feel free to subscribe. And don't forget to get up to 15 stocks from Moomoo and up to 12 stocks from Webull, guys. It is free money. Use those links down below. And feel free to check out the Patreon if you guys want all my buys, sells in the Patreon portfolio. I post screenshots there every single time I make a move, which I actually might buy some stocks later today now that the market is going down. I actually did buy some VOO. I bought a little more Disney today and some other, not the Patreon portfolio, my other portfolio. But yeah, check out the Patreon. All the free stocks are linked down below. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.